This trackball was dropped off today from Cam. He said it's not rolling quite as well as it used to. So I'm just going to take this apart. He already took some stuff apart for me, but there should be 6 screws around the outside of the casing. Just go ahead and remove those 6 screws and open it up. Alright, so I've removed the screws. You just pop off the top of the casing. Got the trackball, just set that aside for now. What I've got here is quite a bit of dust and some grime that has accumulated inside the casing. What I'm going to do is pop these out, take off the bearings, set the rollers aside. There's a small screw, you can pop this off so you can get to that extra bearing. All right, I try to set everything aside so I can see where it's all coming from so I can put it back together. You see I've got some dirt and grime already stuck to my finger. I'm going to wipe everything down with a paper towel just to get dirty old grease and stuff off. So what I would do next is I actually put the roller into the drill like a drill bit. And take some fine sandpaper. And you're going to do Matt Taylor's favorite motion, which is the jerk off. And just jerk that shit off while it's spinning. Get those rollers nice and clean. A lot of you guys might find that you have some rust spots that have accumulated on the rollers. There you go, looks like brand new again. So that's a clean roller. Just go ahead and do that to all. All right, so I'm just getting one of the last bearings off here. You can see these ones have a little spinner there. They got a bearing. And just wipe off whatever oil might be on there from the last time it's been serviced. Put them all in a container or a glass. So what you want to do is just take some WD-40 and squirt a little bit on each bearing. Now the PGA manual says to use WD-40, which is fine, but I think everybody would agree that if you have sewing machine oil, that is the best option, as the sewing machine oil lasts longer. You won't have to do this as often as you would with the WD-40. Another thing I'd like to mention is that these spinner wheels that are on the rollers, when you do put this back together, make sure you screw that in very tight. You don't want to be able to move this and spin it around with your fingers, as if you have an RPM of like 12,000 RPMs, this will actually cause your RPM to decrease if that does move, and you won't get the distance off the tee as you would if that's on there nice and tight. And then when that's done, I'll give it a good wipe down again just to make sure any excess oil isn't going to be getting all over the trackball. Now you can see this casing is pretty filthy, so I like to take the compressed air. You can get this at the dollar store. This one happened to be $4. Just blast in here, get all this crap out. And then the trackball itself, I just use some dish soap. Just give it a wash in the sink. Microfiber cloth, just dry it. And this will be all ready to put back together tomorrow when the bearings are nice and oiled up. Okay, so I've let those bearings soak long enough. What I'm going to do first is wipe down my roller. There's going to be some dust that accumulated when I used the drill and the sandpaper. I'm going to take the bearing, and I'm just going to kind of get the excess oil off so it's not dripping wet. I don't want the oil getting onto my roller and onto my trackball. I'm going to put that all back together. Now I've got the top part of the casing. You might have some dust and dirt around your rim. Just give that a wipe down inside and out. You may have to give it a shot with the compressed air to get any extra dust out that might be in there. Put the trackball back. Now when you're putting the top back on, be careful that you get the encoder boards in there properly, that they can wiggle up and down. You don't want to damage that. You know, it spins a lot better after being properly serviced. So that's going to wrap up the hardware portion of the episodes. Next week and going forward, I'm hoping to stick my focus on the actual gameplay tips. And that'll do it for episode 1 of Tommy Tidbits, and we'll see you next week.